Find every secret chest, if you can. Yes, those very discreet torsos must be uncovered. Right then. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a game called, Dungeon Nightmare, I think? Night 1 of 7. Oh, right then. Yes, so this appears to be a little sort of dungeon exploring game, where you go around and you try to find treasure. Let me open this, please. For all the good that it did me. Right then, underneath my complaining pie hole, there is a thing that says press M to view map. Oh goodness, I have a little map of this very, very complicated place. Alright then, let me go through here, please. Just spend a little bit of time opening the door. And there's one of those discreet torsos we were talking about earlier. Alright then, I'm very much enjoying the stuff. We will find you. Well that's nice of you. What will you find me? Will you find me a job? I'd love that. You now belong to them. To the people who've employed me. That seems like a fair work contract. Hello, friend. Presumably you're the last person who got through one of these work contracts we've been discussing so recently. Alright then, should we try a candle? Procedures. Alright then. Did this developer play Vanish one too many times? Dear, oh dear, oh dear. I should get Vanish and play it at some point. I reference that game too often for my own good. Anyway, yes, we can use little candles. I presume these only have a limited sort of time usage, judging by the fact that we have a quantity of them. So we have found many bars of gold, which presumably is what we're here for. And this creepy-looking man who looks a bit like a zombie. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. It's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde if both of them were the bad one. If that makes any sense. But there were sort of different flavours of bad. Sorry, I thought I heard some naughty footsteps of a bad person. No, I think those are my footsteps. Ah, yes, there goes my candle. Alright, can I suddenly have a message from my graphics card? Alright, yes, I suppose. Let me go back this way, and we can explore a little bit more. So it said night 1 of 7, so presumably there's like 7 different levels, 7 different dungeons that I have to go through in order to get enough gold bars in order to retire comfortably. So, I'm just a little bit nervous. Beyond that little jump scare at the beginning with the woman that we saw in the, or at least I think it was a woman, it was just an odd shape in the shadows. I haven't actually seen anything that's likely to murder me. But save yourself. I like how the text slightly trembles a tiny bit. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. I've also noticed you walk backwards and sideways more slowly than you walk forwards, which is really interesting. I've never thought about that being a feature of a game before, but it's kind of... Good afternoon. How are you doing today, sir? Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. What was I talking about? I haven't got a clue. Where are we? Where are we going? We're going back the way we came earlier. Let's not go that way. Let's go a different way. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. I was probably about to start espousing my complaints about the cost of housing in this country and how many gold bars you would need to you would need in order to actually retire comfortably in this place. Well then, I guess my bum is so unattractive that the moment that he couldn't even see it because he doesn't even have any eyes, it was so unattractive, just even the presence of it seemed to burn itself into his brain that again he doesn't have because he's a skeleton, but never mind. That he fell over and died for a second time, which is good to know. That's the power of one's posterior. She's coming. Good for her. I'm glad she's having a nice evening. Right then, shall we move on from this dreadful joke, and should we realise that I can still spin around when I've got the map up, which is kind of interesting. That's good. You sort of point yourself in the direction you want to go. That's cute. I appreciate that. stop it, you. I think that is a, I think that is a woman. She seems to be wearing some sort of shawl or something. Hello, you seem most animated. You also seem to be levitating, which is quite a lot to be doing, given that you've got no musculature. But, never mind. Whatever floats your boat. Can we go through here, please? Where are we on the old map? Okay, good. This leads into a little dead end. So, can I shut doors behind me by any chance? Yes, I can. Good. Just in case that guy gets a little bit more animated than he already is. Alright, let's see if there is any treasure here. I wouldn't mind finding another candle, but I don't think there's any such luck here. I also know you can blow out the candles, as some of the prompts have alluded to, so I'm slightly confused by that. What sort of monsters can I encounter that would require me to blow out the candle? Presumably something that I want to hide from, for the sake of remaining discreet. Oh well, at least we have much booze with which we can use to relax when we inevitably scare ourselves silly from all of the various demons and monsters and creatures that wish to kill us. Oh, hello! I've seen this before in about a dozen different horror games. This seems to be some sort of free asset that people keep getting hold of from somewhere or other. I don't know where it comes from, but I would like to meet the person that painted it. Because, frankly, I feel like they've had quite a difficult life and probably need someone to talk to. Here's more golden bars. I can't, like, see an inventory or anything in here, can I? No. Okay, I was wondering whether I could see, like, a record of how many bits of bullion I have obtained thus far. Hello again. Were you going to fall over and die like the last one did? What's that? Oh, a candle. Oh, good. Sorry, I threw some roll of toilet paper at first. That was cheap. I see he had a couple of his teeth knocked out. I can't understand why. Okay, was that just a single jump scare, or were we actually operating on like a Weeping Angels mechanic where they move if you don't look at them? No, maybe it was just a one-off. Yeah, I think it was just a one-off. I'm slightly suspicious now, but I think it's just a one-off. Let me just shut that behind me so I'm safe. That's houses. Right then. On earth was I keep losing my thoughts. No one can hear you scream down here. Well, judging by certain statistics, it might not be just even down here. You are never alone, presumably it means surrounded by deaf people, if those two notes are to be believed. The game will freeze for a second. And you'll freeze for a lot more than a second, which I appreciate. Where am I going? Back the way that I've come is the long and the short of it. Let me go through here. Just shut that behind me. Going to pretend like there's no way on earth he can open a door when he almost undoubtedly possibly can. Right then, I'm rather enjoying this. The tension is quite nice in terms of like the atmosphere with the lighting with like the dust in the air and stuff. It makes it rather difficult to sort of espise exactly what is real and what is just a bit of dust. I keep thinking these orange bits are like gold coins on the floor, but they never are. So perhaps I should just shush. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Right then. We're gonna have more food. Yes, we are. And I'm gonna have a slightly boiled ear, but other than that, everything's fine. Where am I? I'm in a room. Alright. Are there any villains in this room who wish to have a little bit of a punch-up? No, but there's possibly a previous protagonist. Kitty on. I originally thought that was just a skeleton covered in blood. Because the legs certainly look like it, but the body looks like it's still got the lungs in it, which is a bit scary. Presumably those weren't tasty enough for the skeleton to eat. There must also be some flesh, judging off the flies that we can hear. But I do not think that... Would you stop doing that, you silly Billy? Dear, dear, dear. Every room feels alive. I hear it breathing. Dear? Because I can't even hear myself breathing. Mainly because I'm yammering on so much there ain't any room to breathe. But never mind. thus far the game is doing quite a good job of sort of spacing out the scares in order to see, again, I keep thinking they're gold coins, they never are. Sort of spacing out the scares, because in a game like this you've always got to ride that balance quite carefully, because if you put the scares too close together, no one ever leaves this place. Well, that presumably is why there are dead bodies all over the floor. Yeah, small bullying, excellent. Yes, if you put the scares too far apart, and the player can sort of get bored while they play the game, and if you put the scares too close together, then the player sort of becomes desensitized to them. So scared, I even forgot about proper punctuation. Is a space I'm sorry, what was that? Was that a fart I just heard? I sincerely hope not. A space is considered punctuation? I have absolutely no idea. I think they're a bit too integral to be considered punctuation, but never mind. Let me see what we've got here. We seem to have little rooms coming off a corridor, a bit like a prison. But this can't have been a prison, for there was a barrel of booze here, which would have made the individuals stay here far too happy, and thus it wouldn't have acted exactly as a deterrent. Alrighty then. It seems like when she jump scares me, I've got quite a few candles, I guess I could use one. It seems like when she jumps out at me, if I'm very close to her, then I get like the picture that comes up on the screen, that weird sort of grey face that appeared, to sort of add to the jump scare. And if she's a bit further away, then that doesn't happen. But it seems like I'm sorry, what? Wait. Who blew out the light? I don't remember consenting to that. I actually thought it was dead, but no, it seems like we're going to continue. Stop it. At once, young man. Dear. Oh, man alive. I'm rather enjoying this. This is rather fun. I've got a couple of little rooms over here. Let's see what we can find. I've no idea where the exit is. If I had to guess, I'd say it's right down there at the bottom. Where you see like the little square with like the little jutty out bit on the right. I wish I had a mouse to point at things, but I can't. But wait, yep. Well, I bloody hate games where you press escape and it quits the game. I pressed escape because escape is how you close menus in a million other games. I didn't press escape. Oh, for crying out loud. Can you run in this game? I haven't tried doing that yet. Get your yard. Seriously. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, it's also sort of randomly generated in the sense that it's different each time, I believe. Right. I'm not cross. I'm not. I'm furious. It just annoys me. It's like, at the very least, have like a confirmation screen, right? Like it comes up and says, "Are you sure you want to quit?" And then you have to click yes. Just something like that, right? Is it impossible that a player is going to accidentally press escape, thinking that they're closing a menu, just because they've forgotten that it's M? Or is nobody else as stupid as me, and I'm the only person that's ever happened to? It wouldn't surprise me if that was the scenario. Artifact found. Find the exit. Oh, I'm here for something specific? It ends here. I hope not. This is an irritating length of videos I have. I rather prefer them to be a bit longer or a bit shorter than this. But, no, I can't see anything down there. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I keep losing my train of thought in this game. I thought I was just here for gold and stuff. I didn't realise I was looking for something more specific, which seemed to be some sort of glowing bit of mithril. Hello again. Good to see I've got one frickin' friend in this place. Can I run? Yes, I can. I can run indeed. Alright then. I'm not going to until I have some sort of... Thank you. Until I have some sort of proof that it's necessary for something. And by necessary for something, I mean integral to me not getting flayed alive. We could go back that way. I want to keep going south for a little bit, for no particularly well-defined reason. Little dust particles in the air are very good at making you think there's something there when really there isn't. Alright, I'm doing much better with the old candles this time around, though not quite as well with the, again, with seeing things that aren't there. I wouldn't look in the mirror. No, neither do I, but that's just because I'm very ugly. Hence why that woman died of fright when I came round the corner and she had to look at my ugly mug. But you know, moving on. Oh dear, I'm enjoying this. I'm having a good time playing this. Maybe I'll go a different way. Maybe. It's just the instinct, Kitty, on you again. It's just an instinct. But it's an instinct that I'm going to rely on for the time being. Okay then, would you shush already? So presumably the way that this works is that you wander around looking for the artifact, and then once you find it you can escape, as soon as you find the exit, that is. But once you've got the artifact you can leave immediately, or you can sort of stick around a bit longer in order to find the rest of the gold and notes and things like that, if you wish to get a better score. And everyone likes to score occasionally. Alrighty then, let us go this way and then down south, I think. Stop wiggling that doorknob as much as I like a good bit of wiggle physics. What? Nothing scary happened. Who did I miss? Oh, I missed you. I missed you so terribly, dearest. Dearest, what on earth am I going to call you? I feel like you need a name. You need to be christened with something. I can't just keep calling you irritant. I need to have some sort of proper term for you. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Just stay over there. Alright, anything of interest in here other than the remains of one of my brethren? Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Don't follow her to that room. But she made such promises, and I've been working at this so hard for ages. Kitty on, I took her out to dinner, we went to see the movie that she wanted instead of the movie that I wanted to see. We went to the restaurant that she wanted instead of the one that I like. Come on, I've been working all evening for this. But no, it seems we're not allowed in that room. Alright then. Can you hear some wailing? No, I don't mean the audience just wailing in horror at the terrible jokes that I've told. I mean this sound effect in the video game. No, alright, never mind. It seems to have stopped now. Alive. Everywhere seems to lead to somewhere else this time around. I feel like last time there were a lot more sort of dead ends that I could explore, but we don't seem to have as many of those this time, which is a bit of a shame. We've got lots of candles. Let us use one. Doesn't really make it that much easier to see, but at least it gives us a little change of scenery, I suppose. I do find myself wondering whether that door that we found that had the kicking on the other side of it, whether that was just a sort of the equivalent of a jump scare, just meant to sort of drive me away from that area, as it did, because I was scared of it, rather than... Oh, not this again. I dread to think what's happening to me in this dark little bit of my life. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. I don't think that is actually anything genuinely dangerous. I think that is just a little bit of silliness that's going on. Alright, alright, so we could go through here, but I don't think that would do us an awful lot of good. Let's just stick our head out there, just in case there's a jump scare. But yes, just to go back to that door for a moment. If I had to guess, if I was designing this, I'd put the exit behind a door like that, because the player finds the door, then they get scared of it due to the banging on the door, they run away, which means they explore the rest of the sort of tomb, allowing to make more full use of the effort that you put into producing the rest of the map. Hello again, Mr. Zombie Person. And then eventually they don't find the exit anywhere else, and then they realise that they have to go and face their fears and open that door. So, if I were designing it, I would do it like that, probably. And then again, as the other 600 videos on this channel have proven, I'm not very intelligent, so maybe I don't know what under the sun I'm talking about. Let me go this way, because we always seem to find things in rooms, and we never seem to find them in corridors, so... Other than jump scares, of course. We find plenty of those in corridors, but, you know, that goes without saying. Well, any skeleton people in here? There's a dead body, which usually means there is a skeleton person. No, that doesn't seem to be. now beginning to wonder whether it might actually be a wise tactic upon entering a room to sort of check it first, to see if there are any bad guys. And then once you've ascertained that the room is safe, or otherwise, you can then make a decision about collecting treasure and so forth, rather than just wandering in like some sort of builder's brass person. Alrighty then, we seem to have done the majority of this bit of the map. I sort of want to go up and get that one there in the middle, and then what is the point in me pointing? It doesn't help. I just sort of go, oh, there are some things in these sorts of corridor areas. No, I stand corrected. There are not some things in these sorts of corridor areas. Unless there's anything in here. No. You stingy man. Alright then, let's just go this way and explore these two rooms, and then we'll head back down south, I reckon. Seems like a vaguely reasonable plan. Is this actually a room, or is this just like a four-way of doors? Which has conjured an image in my brain that I wish I didn't have to experience. But don't you worry about none of that. That's never mind what it is. Never mind what it is. It's unmentionable. Alright, what do we have in this little room? Yes, this one right here. Another dead body. Excellent. I suppose the skeletons are also dead bodies. But, they were a little bit too animate for that description, if you ask me. I am actually going to go sort of up, and then to the right, and then down, and to the right, and then down again. Just to the bottom right of where the little crosshairs are, and actually go down that way. Because I'm very curious about that thing down there at the bottom. Like the rectangle with all the spiky bits on it. No, I did it again! Can I come back from this? Or is... No, I have to press escape again, do I? Good. So it sticks you into some sort of embarrassing limbo. Idiot. Right, excuse me for a minute. I'm just going to go and get a small electrical kit, and I'm going to make it so that I get an electrical shock every time I press the escape button. Idiot. I mean, this is one way of making a video longer, isn't it? You just keep screwing it up. Frickin' twit. I'm sorry. Let's have another look at the map. Oh god, this is going to take forever to get through. Alright, also I don't like the shape of the thing that's in the room we're about to enter. That seems a little, excuse me a moment, someone's calling me. Right, I apologise about that. That was possibly one of the stranger... Would you shush? That's possibly one of the stranger phone calls I've had in my life, but don't worry about it, I was totally irrelevant to what we're doing now. Alright, let me explore the two testicles of the situation, shall we? There was nothing here. I see. The owner must have been having some fun recently. If they're all empty. Right then, moving swiftly on. And out of the never mind what we're moving out of. Yep, that was the sound of the audience retching over the dreadful joke I just told. Alrighty then, let me see what we have in here. Some more candles. Alright then. I'd really like to actually, get to the end of one level, because, this is a little humiliating, being this rubbish at the game. But, let me see. We've just got to find the artifact, and then get out. So presumably the artifact is always stored in one of these crates, I imagine. I doubt it's going to be found on a shelf. That seems a little rude, if you ask me, to keep something so precious merely on a shelf. Right then, what does this say? The darkness now has you. Yes, a lot of these phrases, I'm realising, could quite easily be applied to the job market, which is a little concerning. But never mind. Let me see, anything in here? Some more candles, I'm grateful for those. And what have we got on the other side of here? One more little extra room. I really hope I don't have to go through one of these doors when I'm being chased by somebody. I don't think we've actually met an enemy that chases me yet. But if we do, or perhaps I should say when we do... The witch is now, it would seem! Witch is now, it would seem! Then I really hope that I don't have to go through that... Oh, I've run out of stamina. Well, this isn't exactly excellent. As soon as they stop sharpening their knives, I'm going to assume that we've escaped. Until then, I'm going to continue to walk. This game doesn't slow down, and neither does this recording session. Alright then. It seems to be getting a little quieter, and I've run out of puff again. I have to go back this way actually and get down here. Dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Alright, 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 alright. Oh, man alive. Hello. Alright, so it seems that all of the... Okay, it's you again. It seems like these dead bodies aren't all quite, equally dead. Oh, for goodness sake. You're the last thing I needed. You dancing dingbat. Would everyone like to calm down for 5 minutes? What is that noise? Why does it sound like I'm being abducted by aliens? Right. Has everyone had quite their fill? Dear, oh dear, oh dear. May I please rummage through a few boxes? Death is only the beginning. Actually, we haven't even reached the death bit yet. The stupid thing is I've had to do this 3 times and I haven't even died. Who knew that I'd be prevented from dying through my own stupidity? I always thought I'd die because of my own stupidity. But, never mind. Is it? Oh, not again. Just flip the old breaker box, get the lights working again. There we are, much better. Oh, dear, oh dear, oh dear. Alright, a candle. I appreciate that. Okay, let me go this way. Let me go this way. Okay, so... despite the fact that we've come all the way over here into this new sector of the map, we haven't actually explored very much of it. So I think I'm going to go along down that very, down along the very bottom. Right, dear, oh dear, oh dear, I'm sorry. Dear, oh dear, old habits die hard, and old button mappings die even harder than that. Let me see, yeah, let's go into this room first, and then see what we can find a bit further north. Hello again, I do wish you'd screw off once in a blue moon. Alright, that doesn't lead anywhere, that's just a funny shaped bit of room. Found a few notes. She was one of us before. I wonder who these notes were written by. There's something behind the door! It's called a pair of notes that randomly happen to rhyme, and I find that rather entertaining. Hello again. Yes, I find myself wondering who the notes were written by. Perhaps they were like a previous group of explorers, and they encountered some of the horrors and demons that resided down here. And as such, they wrote some notes to try and help any other poor, unfortunate souls that found themselves down here who also found their tongues stuck to the roof of their mouth. But never mind. Let me check this little room, and then I think we'll be about done with this quadrant. Yes, we've done like the vast majority of the lower half. If I get that little bit that I missed in the bottom that has this funny star-shaped bit there, then we should be pretty much done with the bottom 40% of the map or so. So, let me see what I can find in there. I can find some broken bits. Many broken bits. I was wondered where they come from, because they're clearly not from the ceiling, but never mind. Maybe it's inherited that from Fallout. Hello again. She doesn't actually appear to have any shoes on. And I don't know very much about dungeon exploring, but I do think you need to have a pair of shoes on when you're there. But never mind. Alright, we're about done with all of this, and I don't really want to stay here any longer than is utterly necessary. So, let me work my way up here. Let me severely regret that I worked my way up there. The problem is I don't have a stamina bar, so I have no idea when I'm going to run out of stamina. So I just have to sort of guess. I mean, I could count, but that would be far too competent for a person like me. So let me head north for a little while. I don't know if this is super loud for you. It looks relatively loud. Looking at the audio levels instead of paying attention to the game. Alright, I think it's getting quieter now. Right then, where are we? We're all the way up here, and we've got another one of these shaped things. Oh dear. Oh well. Let's see what we can find. We can find a door. Alright. Oh. No, I stand corrected. You can find the artifact on a shelf or on a desk. Alright, that seems fair enough. It looked a bit like a book. A big glowy book, perhaps. Perhaps it is a book of spells and incantations for those with the power to cast them, to summon up vaguely animated skeletons, screaming women, and sharpening knives. Again, I know, we've had this discussion previously, my friend. I thought I was here to record a video, not to participate in a beauty pageant, but never mind. I'm going to go this way. I don't want to go any further south, because every time I go in that direction I seem to encounter that screaming individual. Which is strange, because the scream sounds more like the woman who appears in the jump scare. But the body seemed to be just like a flayed person, sort of a totally different enemy, which is a bit weird. But who knows how these things work. I keep seeing things that aren't there, and it's driving me mad. Alright, let me see what we've got in here. More rubble and more bullion. Much appreciated. And a... Right, and a moment. Okay, right. Let me just take a second. All of this screaming of both of them and of me is getting my throat a little dry. I'm just going to grab some water, and then we'll continue. Right then, we'll just light us up a candle so that we can see the next thing that kills us, and open up the map. I tell you the other thing that I think is making me think to press escape instead of pressing M to open the close. Which you shush. Not you. I meant I was looking in the corner of the screen where the camera was. Where the camera is by. I didn't mean to look at you when I said that. I do sincerely apologise for being rude to you. Funny noises. The thing is, right? The thing is that I'm left-handed, so I use my right hand for the keyboard. So I have my right hand on the WASD keys, which means to press M, I have to stretch my hand out all the way as far as it will go in order to get my pinky finger over the M button, which is a very uncomfortable maneuver to do. So I think my brain kind of thinks, oh no, let's try another button in case it works, because it hurts when we do that one. So, yes. That's a bit weird, but never mind. Run! You have to get away until you inevitably run out of puff. Would you stop doing that? Idiot. Oh man alive. How are we going to get through 7 nights of this? I must warn you that we may not get through all of the game. I don't know if we'll do multiple episodes, but because obviously I imagine most of the levels are going to be relatively similar unless they're all like massively different types of dungeon. But more spooky noises. Yeah, I don't know, we might do 1 or 2 levels, or we might do another video at a later point where we play a little bit more of it, but yes, I promise to do my absolute utmost to get through one night at least, but it could take severely longer to get through all 7, but we shall see what happens. Alright, looks like we've got a relatively large room here. I spy a bodice. I don't know if I spy any skeletons, even though I don't actually think a skeleton has done me real damage thus far. I mean, no one's done me real damage, apart from the escape key. Need I say that again? But, I'm trying, mate. It's rather difficult when you've got a brain as small as mine. Yes, I don't know why I feel more concerned about the skeletons than anyone else. Probably just because I'm not fully convinced I understand how the skeletons work, because some of the time they seem to operate in a Weeping Angel mechanic, and some of the times they don't, which is interesting. So, I feel like they're the most mysterious enemy, like the screaming enemy and the standard jump scares. I can deal with all of that. I've dealt with millions of those before. I'm not concerned about that. Have I been here before? Yes, I have, and this is where I encountered the screaming demon of death. Perhaps I should move my platoon into a different area. So what areas haven't I been into yet? Mainly just that sort of central bit. So I need to sort of go up and around and then down into that sort of main area there. My brain thought to press escape again. It did. It seems to be when I for being a dungeon explorer, mate, you don't have very good physical fitness. But never mind. It seems to be when I stay on the map screen for any longer than a few seconds, my brain seems to default to the escape key for some stupid reason. But never mind. Earth of What's that? Did you hear that? It's a funny sort of thump sound, as if something had been dropped. Like a big blob of Play-Doh. That's probably the exit. Alright, you've convinced me it's exit time. I just have this extra gold bar if you don't mind. I'll get the hell out of here. I guess you couldn't say goodbye without a little goodbye kiss. Kitty, may I leave? Thank you. Kitty. Not one survived. Hooray. Stupid thing is, yeah, as I said before, stupid thing is, I didn't die. You woke up in 15 minutes and 24 seconds, really? To me it looks more like 40, but never mind. Dear. Gold found 74, canvas found 92, notes found 92, artifacts found 100%. Does that mean there's more than one, sometimes? The dungeon grows stronger. Oh, must have been eating its greens. Good for it. Right then, night 2 awaits. Oh, right then. Do we roll right into that, or do we, like, go back to a menu first? Yes, we do. Interesting. Wait, so how would you, like, start a new game if you wanted to go back to the beginning? I don't know. Right then, I suppose we should do night 2. Close doors to slow them down. Alright, so closing the doors behind me is a wise decision then. Righty then. So, we seem to have another map, which has a lot more corridors and a lot less rooms in it. I can't tell if that's a good thing or a bad thing. There's another one of those, funny structures I wish to investigate. Presumably the enemies will be a little bit more vicious this time around. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. There's me thinking it was lovelier the second time around. I think it's just going to get a little bit more deadly. Alrighty then. It seems like the candles aren't necessary, which seems sort of reasonable given that there's a limited number of them. Because, you know, if you had to have a candle in order to see something. There's someone crying about the fact that I didn't stop the video and I'm carrying on. I'm sorry. It's just the decision I've made. Deal with it. Yes, it's good that the candles aren't a necessary item, because of course eventually you could run out of them and then you wouldn't be able to complete the level if they weren't necessary for actually seeing something. So I appreciate that they are useful but not essential. That's a nice little balance to strike. I keep seeing the lighter coloured dust particles in the distance, and thinking they're the eyes of evildoers. Well, there's a new one. I hope that it does introduce some new sort of jump scares, new enemies and types and so forth, because that's going to be necessary for keeping the variety up, and if we're going to have 7 different levels of this, goodness knows we're going to need a fair amount of variety. Right then. There's nothing in here, is there? No. Just a twit. Just a twit who keeps talking a lot. With a steamed face. Dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Alright, let's go and investigate that funny shaped room that we were talking about before, because I feel like we've hyped that up a fair amount. So what do we have in here? Is it just a room with lots of little jutty inny and outy bits? It would seem to be yes, and a funny chair. A funny chair for somebody with a most wide bum. Good for them. I mean, can't think of what that would actually be useful for, but if you can think of a use for it, then that is an excellently useful thing to have. Oh dear. There's quite a lot of skeletons here. May I have these things, please? I don't think I heard this crying before. Oh yeah, and the walking sideways is really slow, isn't it? Can I run sideways? I can run in order to make myself go a little faster, but it's still pretty slow. Alright, I'm just going to, yeah, he definitely wasn't there when I was looking at the big bum chair. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. You just move me bum this way, if you don't mind. If I find the door, it should be a small miracle. Oh, there wasn't a door, there was just a doorway. I do apologise. I've made an absolute ass of myself, haven't I? Right, let's get the hell out of here before those skeletons decide to become more animated than they already are. Let's go through here. I presume the exit always looks the same, so at least now I know what I'm looking for an exit. I thought originally it was just going to be a door like that, but you click on it and when it opened it would just say, congratulations, you've won. Or something like that. But never mind. A bit more bullion. Excellent. Always pleased to have that. No, don't think there's anything to be concerned about. Let's... Oh, I have missed a room back there. I thought that was a corridor. It's not. It's actually a dead end that I'd rather like to explore. Idiot. I don't really want to explore it so much now. Oh, idiot. Again, I don't know that you guys are a weeping angel, but I'm going to assume that you are. I'm so glad the items in the chest pick up automatically and you don't actually have to, like, individually click on the things, because that would be an absolute nightmare. Alright, let's go back this way. Okie dokie. Where are we now? Okay, so we've got another room here, and then we'll carry on the corridor down south. Fair enough. Oh, good! This again! I missed this. Oh, giddy. Thank you. Really hoping we get to have more of this. Oh dear, I just realised I've got no idea what... Well, that was interesting. Whatever is on the other side of this door has got to be less worse. What? Day 13, I think I made a girl screaming. Is that you, Mary? Okay. I had to get away from Mary, if you don't mind. That isn't too much to ask. Stamina again. Let's just keep running north. Eventually we'll get over Hadrian's Wall and then we'll be safe. I can still hear her screaming. I'm going to be screaming as well by the end of this. Alright. I think we've escaped. We encountered quite a few interesting things along the way, but never mind. I love this. This is brilliant. I'm very, very much enjoying this. That was a sound like a skeleton appeared, but I've not seen one anywhere. Unless he was on the other side of the door. No, I see one not. Alright then. Okay, let's take stock of what happened. We encountered another screaming woman and we ran away from her. We encountered a diary page, which seemed to be talking about somebody called Mary. Then we encountered a door, which when we opened it, it seemed to then slam in our face. Then there was some bashing noises, but when we opened the door, there was nothing on the other side and turned out it was just the wind. We then ran away from her and then we ended up here. Right then, let's have a look at the map. You can tell the bits where I'm running away and the bits that I'm looking for stuff, because the bits where I'm looking for stuff are very wibbly wobbly and the bits where I'm running away are a perfectly straight line. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I'm rather enjoying this. This is rather entertaining. And it is managing to keep things fresh even though we are doing very much the same things that we were doing before. Alright, I'm not going to go back the way that we've come and explore the rest of the bits that we ran straight past while we were screaming like a small child. I'm instead going to keep on exploring around these new areas because I don't want to re-encounter her. I'm going to hope that she despawns once you escape from her and then she'll respawn somewhere else at a random interval. I hope that that's how these things work, but I don't know that it is. And for as long as she may still be back there, I don't really want to return to that place. Alright, doesn't appear to be anyone too villainous here. Yay, I found the thing! Right then, so now we need to find another little skylight to take us where we want to go. I don't really want to go this way, if I'm quite frank. I'm quite curious about that little room, sort of 2 rooms down from where we are right now. That looks like it might be something interesting. And it would be worth exploring just to see, that again, I suppose. Kitty yards. It's like when you open the door to the bathroom and you didn't realise there was someone in there and you hear them scream. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Maybe that's how we made Mary scream now that I think about it back on day 13. Dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. We're under the sun, are we? Not the place that I thought we were, which means we should go back. Kitty, how am I so bad at this game? I'm sorry, I don't mean to be bad. What's through here? The other side of that screamy thing. I suppose it's worth a look. I just want to sort of peek my head inside and see if I can see the light of day. No, I can't, but I can hear a noise that sounds like a death claw sharpening its claws, so if you don't mind, I'm not going to go that way. I'm going to go and look in here instead. Dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I don't think the exit's in here, otherwise we'd be able to see the light. It is a nice little feature that the both the artifact and the exit, which are the 2 integral things that you need at the game, If you had any sense of manners or decency, you would not assault a man when he's trying to empty his schnoz. But clearly, semblances of decency have been lost to time, along with all of her skin. Now I hear the crying again. Alright, let me try and get us away from her. Is it dying away? Yes, it is. Alright. Sorry, that's just so loud. So very loud. Kitty, would you go away? Day 10. I woke up today and Mary was gone. Right, this sounds more like a transcript of an episode of Jeremy Kyle, but never mind. Where are we? We're in here. That's nice. Alright, did I not pick these up earlier? Why did I not do that? I still have no idea why you'd want to blow out the candle. Why would you want to do that? Why would that be necessary? How would that help you in any scenario? Every enemy that I've met, as soon as they've seen me, they've tried to assault me. They haven't been in like sort of stealth sections where I've needed to be careful and be discreet. So I'm not really sure what advantage that would have, but maybe that plays in on a later level, perhaps. Maybe the intrusion. Or maybe it's just for whoever's in charge of doing this jump scare. Maybe it's just there for them. That didn't happen before. I'm not crazy for thinking that's never happened before, am I? When I suddenly got grabbed and kissed by that skinless creature. That's a new one, right? Oh dear. I rather enjoy this as much as I'm dreadful at it. But, dear, oh dear, what have we got here? Anything exciting? No, not even a bit of paper. I'm sorry. I'm thinking back to that note that we found earlier, where it said like day 13. I heard her scream, and or I heard crying or something, and then we actually did hear some crying later, sort of separate crying. And I was also thinking about another note that we encountered that said, "Don't follow her into that room." Where do I want to go? I want to go sort of this way, don't I? That said, "Don't follow her into that room." I find myself wondering if maybe there's like a room that you can find where there's like... It's another weird thump noise. You can hear her, like the crying coming from. And the note is trying to warn you that if you go in there, you'll get killed. But it's like the image of like a girl crying, so you think like, oh, another survivor, I should go over there and help them and be a sort of decent human being rather than ignoring them and leaving them there. But never mind. Don't trust anyone you meet down here. Adding fuel to the fire that I'm bringing out. Yeah, I wonder whether they might pull something like that at some point, because that seems to be what they're setting up with the sort of the lore and the stories and so forth. So that would be where my brain would sort of go. That sounds like another skeleton, but I have no baldies where he is. Or where she is. I don't actually know if there's any differences between the male and female skeleton beyond their size. And hello, kitty. Hang on a minute. It seems I can relocate them when I so choose. Which is interesting. I didn't know that was a thing that I could do, but it seems that it is the thing that I can do. Alright, let me go this way, I suppose. Why can't I do that? Why can I just press my face into the skeleton and move its bum? I mean, it's a feature. It wasn't advertised on the page, but it's a feature. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I'm having the time of my life playing this. This is a very fun game. I am enjoying it greatly. Alright, there's a couple of rooms here that I missed, and I'd rather like to have a look at these if... Oh, the exit. Excellent, excellent. We can probably leave and end it there, actually, because my voice is getting a little hoarse. Yeah, here's that crying I was talking about. This is you. Let me just get my bum out of here first, and then we'll have a little chat about that. When I looked at that painting, the camera was almost sort of drawn to it. and there was like a sort of like a hellish wailing going on in the background. That was most mysterious indeed. How did we do in terms of numbers and things? Gold found 68%, candles found 71%. Oh, I didn't do very well that time at all. Not nearly as well as I did last time. They want their revenge. Yeah, they haven't actually killed me yet, which is a little concerning, but never mind. Alright then, that was rather fun. I rather enjoyed that. I don't know as we'll go the whole way for this in terms of doing all of them, but I might do one more episode. I don't know. I also have the sequel to this game as well. I should emphasise that as well. I am there's the second one, Dungeon Nightmares 2, which is a lot more recent. I think this game is quite old, as I remember correctly. I can't remember what year it did come out, but it is quite old. And there's another one which is obviously more recent because it's a sequel that came out later. I don't think it's necessary for me to patronise you by saying that, but yeah, so we'll definitely do a video on the second one. We might do a bit more on this, because I'm curious to see sort of how many other sorts of scares and things they bring along. But it depends how many different various bits of rubbish I can think to talk about while we see those various different scares. So for now, I'll say thank you very much for joining me this evening, ladies and gentlemen, for this excellent little game that I'm very much enjoying. It's very sort of fun and surprising. If you just describe this to me in terms of it's a dungeon, it's randomly generated, it's got X number of bad guys in it, there's 7 different levels of it, and the objective is the same in each one, I'd have said that seems a bit pointless. Why not just have one level? It seems weird to drag it out, but they do seem to be doing a good... I mean, I've only seen the first 2, obviously, but they do seem to be doing a good job of keeping it a little bit more varied and interesting with new sorts of things going on. So, that's cool. Anyway, that's enough for one day. Indeed. What did it look like? Quite nice. Looks a bit like an ink blot test. Right then, good evening ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to a little bit more of the Dungeon Nightmares, which seems to be in a bit of a different environment. The walls are different. They used to be more stony like that, but now they look a bit sort of wooden, and actually they remind me of like burned skin, actually, which is a bit horrible, but well, that's interesting. I'm glad there's something a bit new in this one. Yes, I rather enjoyed the previous She Naughty Bit of Steam. So it keeps appearing in the corner right next to the camera, because that means I'm looking in the wrong place. Yes, that's spooky noise again. Is the thing with the picture happening again? Yes, you can hear the hellish wails, can't you? I presume if I keep looking at that, eventually I'll die. Which is lovely. Nice to know you've got options to get out of this world, if nothing else. Yes, I rather enjoyed the previous two little bits of this. I thought I'd do a little bit more. Not entirely sure how many more levels we'll do, but I'm certainly enjoying the fresh elements of this one. The old zombie painting. I don't think the zombie painting did that before. I know we saw the giraffe lady painting. We saw that effect happening with that, but I don't believe it happened with the zombie before. So possibly that's another way in which they're making it more dangerous. If you stare longingly into the eyes of the painting of a zombie, then you'll be opening a portal to hell or something. I don't know, I haven't done quite enough scientific studies on that in order to figure out exactly what's going on with it, but I'm sure we'll figure it out eventually. What does this say? You should not have come here. Well, let's see. To be honest with you, I think I shouldn't have come here 3 times in a row. I think that's my stupid idea. So does she just sort of wander around and patrol that? Okay, she's not as fast as I thought she was. Which way is she going? She's going that way. Okay. I'll shut that behind myself. Slow her down, haha, and now I need to think about which way I'm going, which is this way. So does she just sort of patrol the kitty, don't you go away? Does she just, what the hell was that? Like, I'm seeing things and I'm not having enough opportunity to see them properly. Does she just sort of patrol around there? Because it seemed like she was just wandering down the corridor. And then like eventually you bump into her or you don't. That's interesting. It seems very dangerous to just run through this dungeon without the faintest idea of where I'm going. Alright, I think that's dying away now. I think she's lost me. And I've also lost the sharper points of my hearing. Kitty Hut. So very loud. I mean, it has to be for the sake of scaring you, but still. Alright, we found the artifact nice and quickly, which is good. Dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I wouldn't want to try and speedrun this game. That would be a nightmare. I mean, I wouldn't want to try and speedrun any game, because it's an incredibly arduous and unrewarding task, but, you know. Okay, then. We could go back and explore the bits that we ran through very unceremoniously, or we could continue looking in other directions. Kitty Hut. More skeletons. More spooky, scary skeletons. I shall now not look at you long enough for me to get this door open. I don't like you doing that. So that you can't follow me through the door, I'm going to move you into a different area. Right, there we are, that'll do. Now, if you don't mind, mate, I'm just going to work my way through here and shut the door behind myself. Ha-ha, I have defeated him. Oh, Kitty Hut. No, I really have not. Kitty Hut. Right, so here's a room with a million more of these crazies in. Alright, this is a funny shaped room. This is a weird sort of staircase shaped room, but oh, there was another chest here. I almost missed it. Because it would have been such a travesty if I had missed it, given that I had nothing, you know. Right then. Never mind. Good. More dead bodies. It's not a proper room in a dungeon if it doesn't have a dead body or 7 in it. Okay, and into another weird staircase room on this side. Okay, let's have another candle, please. For no particularly good reason. Still haven't figured out why you'd want to turn those off, but I'm sure we'll figure it out eventually. Either that or we'll get to the end of it and it'll be blatantly obvious to everyone else why it was necessary to do that, and it simply went over my head because I'm not very bright. Alright, we have quite a large open room here, which is interesting. It's going to be a little difficult to search this room because we're going to have to just skirt around the outskirts rather than actually search the middle. Would you pick the things up, please? Thank you very much. It's also difficult to check the room for villains because of its size, but never mind. Kitty Hut. And there's one of the villains I mentioned. Can I move you? No. So either I can only move them after they become animate. Yes, I can only move them after they become animate. I was wondering whether there were some which you could move because they weren't totally static models like this barrel is. And then there were other ones that you could move because there's a lot more skeletons in this level. There were other ones that you could move because they you know what I mean. I thought there were like 2 different types of skeletons, one that can attack you and one that can't. I still actually don't know if those guys can attack you. For all I know, they can't. Is this a dead end? Yes. I'm just going to shut this door. I'm going to go into my office. I'm going to do a bit of work. A bit of reading, I think, except there's nothing in here to read. Ah, no. Thankfully there was. Just something that we've previously read before. So there is a fair amount of repetition in the notes. So this whole area was a dead end, so we should continue to explore this area and just check if there's anything else left behind in here. Yeah, there's a fair amount of repetition in the notes, so I was wondering whether... would you stop it? I was wondering whether in each level there'd be like extra bits of lore, which I think come from the sort of journal pages that we found, where it's like a day and a number in order to identify what part of the journal it is, and there's these sort of discussions that I think are going on from again with you. These sort of discussions about what I think are like a previous group of dungeon explorers who were here. So possibly those are the slightly more consequential bits of lore that you can discover, and I feel like those might be spread out across the levels a bit more carefully. Right then, this is good. This is just little closets which you can go into and have a little scream when life becomes a little bit too much for you. Oh dear, oh dear. So there was basically nothing down here. Excellent. Now we've got to circumnavigate our way around 926,1294 versions of you. Kitty, oh, such a grim-looking face. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Okay, where are we going? We need to go back up. Yeah, and then left, and then sort of rightwards again. Where's my friend? There's my friend! Okay, so some of them just turn around when that sort of boing noise happens to tell you that the skeleton has become moving. Oh, that's interesting. They can go back. They can go back from whence it came. They can sort of return to their previous stance. That's interesting. I would have thought they were advanced enough to do that, but no, they can. They can actually return to their previous position, which is interesting. I'm not quite sure what benefit that has. So when I said that his skills and abilities were totally useless to humanity, he fell over and died. Can't much say I blame him. Right then. I had a funny feeling that we'd been here before because we didn't have to unlock that. I see. Would you mind backing it up a little bit, mate? Didn't name you, did I? I keep meaning to do that and I forget. I'm beginning to think where it might be a kind of a mock Weeping Angel mechanic, whereby they can move, but only until you see them for the first time, then they go back to being completely static again. Because it never seems like they move after I've noticed them the first time, except when they sort of reset. So, I'm led to perhaps believe that once you see them, they're fine. You just have to catch them before they can get behind you and hurt you like that one did. So that might be how their mechanic works, but I'm not definite of that, so I cannot be certain. Alright. I don't think there's any reason for me to go down that corridor. I don't think it's going to pose much benefit, so I'm going to go through here. Hello again. And just check, just to make sure there's no... Your bum, your very bony bottom is in the way. Kindly move it. I mean, also kindly don't, because... The mixed messages were really confusing him and he fell over and died from the shock. After teleporting. Oh no, you went there. You moved your bottom, thank you, I appreciate that, but you've moved it into yet another inconvenient place. Man alive. I keep losing my train of thought when I play this game. I don't know why, it's because things keep jumping out of me and scaring me. Dear. Any treasure in here at all? Just more dead bodies. I don't really consider them very treacherous, if that's even a word, which I'm not convinced that it is. Alright. Oh, this is a dead end, actually. I thought there was a pathway that would allow me to join back up to the right-hand side of the map, but there isn't. I can't do that. I'm going to have to go back then. Alright then. Let me go back and get us back to where we were before, and then we can continue our little journey. Where under the sun am I going? Actually, I might as well go through this corridor over the side here, mightn't I? Because, or maybe I mightn't as well not. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Because we haven't been through here before, and it would be worth. It would be worth just checking this space out in order to make sure that everything's all above board. Hello, I wouldn't mind you being above a board, particularly the boards of a trapdoor, because then I could drop the trapdoor, you'd fall down, I wouldn't have to deal with you and your ilk no more. I think once you've done that, you're safe, because otherwise I would have, I think by now, statistically speaking, I would have encountered another spook from them. So I think once you catch them the first time, it's fine. There's that crying again. We didn't fully explore the crying mechanic. Oh, there's the exit. There indeed is the exit. Oh, alright, we'll do a little bit more exploring, just a tiny bit, just because I do want to look around a little bit more. On the one hand, I don't want to do like a million videos on this, as much as this is enjoyable. I don't want to drag it out more than necessary. Is she here? Is she crying in here? Is this the room that I'm not supposed to follow her into? Let me get some candles out so it's nice and romantic for us all. No, there's just another wide chair for another wide-buttocked individual. Good for them. Oh gosh, this is fun on a Christmas bun. Please don't run out of stamina. Where under the sun was the exit? It's there. Well, that was a nice way to end the level, wasn't it? Okie dokie then. Night number 3 survived. Excellent, in my fastest time. That was an interesting sort of map. It was a lot more sort of linear than the other ones, because the others have all been sort of linked up. You could sort of go anywhere at all. But, oh wow, I didn't get any of the gold. I mean, I did only go through like half of the map, but still. Dear, oh dear, oh dear, you cannot escape next time. Why, did the developer bump off for lunch when he was making level 4, and thus didn't put an exit in it? Because if so, that's professionalism at its best. Kitty yacht. The only move when you don't see them. Yes, or as we otherwise call it, a weeping angel. Right then, the quadruple of knights. Are we in another burned area? We would seem to be, yes. Alright then. Let me check these boxes. Could I have a candle, please? No. She controls them. Does she control the beast on the other side of this door? Because maybe it would like to tell the beast that you kind of kill the jump scare if you put it on the very first door, because I have to go through this door because it's at an end. Alright, I feel like we might have seen this map layout before. I don't know if this is like fully randomly generated in the sense that it just totally randomly sticks rooms and corridors anywhere. I assume it has some sort of guidance, because it has to not put rooms on top of one another, as it were. And it would need to have like a fair number of rooms, not just loads and loads of corridors. There must be some sort of balance that has to strike with these things. So possibly it's sort of randomly generated with a set number of sort of parameters, like at least this many rooms, at least this many corridors, and I don't know, maybe there's like some sort of system of coordinates that it can use to identify where things have been put by the random generation, so it doesn't put them in the same place. I don't know. We're not really here to have a discussion about how to program a randomly generated map creator. We are more here to wonder about what that funny noise is. Oh, this is the abducted by aliens noise again, isn't it? I'd forgotten about this. Thank you. That was the sound of the alien spaceship crashing into the ground because they were too busy looking at their phones instead of paying attention. Driving standards haven't even improved in space. Oh well, never mind. You can't have everything. Let's go up here. Yeah, because this seems very similar. In fact, this is literally exactly the same map as the last one that we've had. This is a bit of a bug, isn't it? Oh dear, so that means we're literally on exactly the same map. That's a bit of a shame. Yeah, because that means we've got literally exactly the same one as the one that we had previously, which is a darn shame, to be quite frank. And that was a chair, not a shelving unit. I do apologise. It would be alright if, like... That's a new noise. Is that a noise I need to worry about or not? There's more hellish whales coming out of that painting again. Yeah, it'd be alright if it was like the first and the last one that were like a repeated map, because then you wouldn't notice it as much because there had been more time since you'd done it. But having them right next to each other is a little unfortunate, but I don't think that's like... if it is as randomly generated as I believe it to be, then of course that isn't like laziness on the part of the developer in terms of like reusing a map. That's just the unfortunate luck of me that I've managed to get exactly the same map in two runs, but never mind. At least we can explore the sort of right-hand side. Kitty on. If looks could kill, it seems mine can. Goodness. Now I suddenly feel very powerful. Die, yes, from the power of my beady eyes. Die. For the second time, presumably. Unless he somehow survived having all of his skin and organs ripped off, in which case, that's endurance. Alright, so it seems like the exit is very near to where it was before. That sounds like the lady that screams and charges after me. Oh, is that the... Well, this is a quick map. Under normal circumstances, I'd show you the rest of it, but you know, we're in the same map as before, so we're going to pretend like that never happened, and I'm going to have the fastest time ever. Dear. Thinking of speedrunning this, actually, it must be an absolute pain in the neck trying to speedrun games like this, because it's purely based on randomization, and it can't be much fun speedrunning something when it's totally random. I feel like speedrunning is a lot more fun when it's when it's like a case of like fine-tuning a process rather than just sort of playing a random numbers game, because otherwise that isn't much fun, is it? Right then, we're going to pretend like Night 4 never happened, and we're going to roll right onto the fifth one. Right, as soon as we do this. I may have figured out why it good. If it had been the same map again, I'd have been mighty cross. I think I figured out why you can use escape in order to quit the game. I think the reason you can do that is because there's no quit button on the main menu screen. As you may have noticed, there's just another insult that's been written down here, just to give us a callback for the third time to the same joke, and another callback to the same joke again. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Yes, there's no escape button, as you may have noticed. There's just a number of links and a start button, so presumably the escape is there for that, but I am still a little cheesed off about that, but at least I seem to have gotten it through my thick skull, which button to press, and more specifically, which button to not press. So, it seems this area is perfectly safe, and we're also back into the sort of stony area again. I realise I didn't twig that before. I sincerely apologise. No, strange noise. Problem is, I'm not going to be able to put the sound up for you if there is a strange noise that I want you to hear, because obviously, like the atmosphere and the heartbeat, for example, are all going to go up as well. Because obviously, I can't change the individual sounds of the game. I don't know what that was. I seem to be doing a lot of them. Hello. Seem to be doing a lot of skeletons very, very quickly. I know. Seems like these were the two guards that were guarding some gold. Haha, I have stolen it now. With my freezing eyes. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. I've lost my train of thought again. This is getting very annoying. Nope, it's gone. Oh well, never mind. Let's talk about something else instead. Let's talk about that crying. I feel like there must be someone who's here and crying somewhere. I just don't know where. Have a drink, madam. Have some of the wine from these boozing crates, and then you'll be fine. What? An open door that I haven't opened. That's a new one. What does this note say? Run! You have to get away! Well, yes, I will, just as soon as that big demon creature with its knife block has a go at charging after me again, which thankfully we didn't have to deal with earlier. We actually got through 2 nights, haven't we, without even seeing her, which is lovely. 2 nights, 1 night, I can't remember. My brain doesn't tend to function very well, as you may have noticed, once or twice with little niggling things, such as me being a total idiot, for the sake of all the hundreds of hours of things I've put up onto this wacky little corner of the internet that I call my own. Well, here's the exit, if nothing else. Can I leave without the artifact? Hello? You cannot leave without the artifact. Imagine if it was in here. Right, good. That would have been the joke of the century if it had been in there. Well, such is the joy of randomization. It's very dark in here. Let me turn this on. Okay, we've got another screaming painting. Best not look at that. Have some more candles. Go for those. All right, so we found the exit, and it's in either this room or this room. I'm not entirely sure which, but I have missed a room down here. I want to quickly go back and check that one, which is just through here, I think. Yes, it's there. Right, I have made a mental image of it, and now it's all going to be fine. I seem to have walked in on something, yes, and he died of embarrassment. I do apologise. Let me get out of here. Kitty Aunt, I didn't realise I walked into the orgy cupboard. I mean, it's not much of an orgy with 2 people, but you know what I mean. It's also not much of an orgy with young skeletons, because you don't have any of the things that you need for such jobs. But never mind. I apologise. Being so crass. Him off screaming as well. Is this okay? This is like a big open room. I have. Oh, thank you. Yes. I have noticed that the candle lets you see a bit further. It's not just a case of it being brighter. You can also see like further into the room, which is useful in big open rooms like this. So they do have their uses. They are indeedly useful. Alrighty then. I'm trying to be a little bit more circumspect now that I have the suspicion that that screaming woman, screaming flayed person, seems to patrol rather. No, she doesn't. She just stands still and irritating close to me. She wants to be a massive pain in my bum. Now I have to stretch my hand completely across the keyboard in order to hit M, forward, and shift all at the same time, which is a little terrifying. move your bum. To move your bum. Why don't I have a stamina bar? It's very annoying. Alright, there we go. Now I think I can still hear her screaming. Probably screaming at my awful performance and my awful attempt to run away from her. It also seems to be getting louder, which is weird, because it ought to be getting quieter. So I'm going to run out of road at this rate. Right. That took more than long enough, but she eventually decided to buzz off and leave me alone. Hello. How are you? You are dead. Get out. Oh, I don't think I'll ever get tired of experiencing that. This is just a... Oh no, this isn't a dead end. There's another room through here. Here we go. Let's see what we've got on the other side of here. Right then. Yes, she's finally left me alone, despite the fact that I had to run literally all the way around the map in order to get away from her, but never mind. Maybe that will improve this character's physical fitness a bit. Probably not. But we just have to hope. Because goodness knows we don't have any skills to rely on when it comes to the person playing this game. Okie dokie then. I have missed a bit down there at the bottom. I would like to go back and get that, so I'm going to go up and then left. Through here. Yes, now take another left turn. Right about here, I was reckon. No. Well, I would like to take a left turn into the booze. That would probably make this a slightly easier experience to survive. And again with the crying. I still am so curious as to why these chairs are so frickin' wide. I am curious about whether that Well, that's new. Did I walk in on her crying? I just didn't realise it. Get on. How much easier is life when you're intelligent? Just let me know about that. Just let me know how much easier life is when you don't have to deal with being quite this stupid. How did I miss her? She must have been standing right in front of me. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. Oh well, at least we've perhaps come to a conclusion about that little theory, if nothing else. Alright then. It seems like coming here was a massive waste of time. Except I've got to do that again, which is always fun. So, now we're in a dead end, which is great. She doesn't move very fast, which is great. Pretty much the only thing about her I like. That isn't rude of me to say. Right, you don't need to listen to this, so I'm going to jump until we get past her. Alright. I think it's dying away now. There we go. Goodness, you never quite appreciate how lovely quiet is. Until you've had to put up with a lot of noise all the time. I'm sure you appreciate how lovely and quiet it is after you turn one of my videos off. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. After listening to me yammer on for hours on end. Right. Alright, we haven't explored all of those little rooms off to the left there, where we initially met her. But I am going to go back and look. As dangerous as that is, if she's still hanging around, I do want to have a good look and just make sure I'm not leaving anything behind. As a candle, I should probably use one of those. Thinking about it has been a bit of a while, and I miss the romantic nature and also dripping the wax onto my hand and burning myself horribly when I'm trying to run away from a demon creature. But never mind. I've also just realised, if you were just trying to get the artifact and get out, you'd severely struggle with all these freaking jump scares you have to put up with. No, what I was thinking is you could do it quite quickly by just sort of entering a room and just looking around to see if you can see the light of the artifact. But actually that wouldn't work because, of course, the first couple of times when we found the artifact, we found it in a box, didn't we? Which hid the light from it. So you wouldn't be able to see that. So you would have to check every single box, unless you were going to just play levels and hope that it would appear it would be randomly generated to appear on a shelf or on a desk rather than in a box, which would allow you to get the fastest time, but would also take a very long time to get that through the trial and error. So yeah, it's actually an interesting thing to think about, isn't it? Because not all of them move, right, and that's the thing. If all of them moved, it would be fine. Because then it could just be like a system that's the same for everyone. But because some of them move and some of them don't, you get suspicious about the ones that don't move. Because, again with that, would you stop it? You get suspicious about the ones that don't move because you think that, you think that you haven't triggered them to move yet, and they're still going to do it later. Which is a bit scary, but never mind. Artifact? No, bit of gold. Alright. I suppose money is almost as good as a random book of spells. I find myself wondering why I'm interested in so many of these books. Like, why do I keep coming back down into ever so slightly different but also very similar dungeons for the sake of finding this this book time and time again? Do we have like a little game going on between me and the screamy woman that we keep trying to steal each other's book? Like, I come into the dungeon and steal it, and then tomorrow she, or maybe during the day, she comes into my house and steals it off my bookshelf, and then during the night I come into the dungeon and steal it off of her again. And we're having a sort of a little game of tennis with a book. Is that what's going on? Is that the secret hidden lore that I will discover in the final chapters of the diary that we find at the end of the game, or some such rubbish that I'm thrown on about, because honestly I've forgotten what the hell it is I'm meant to be doing in this game. I don't know. Maybe. It's a possibility, isn't it? If you're very easily convinced that the impossible is totally feasible. Darkness has you now. I thought I said the Clarkness has you now at first and got a little confused. I have a oh, I did have I had a thing open already. Oh, that's odd. I pressed C and nothing happened, so I got confused. I thought I pressed the wrong button. So I started hitting other buttons randomly because that's always such an excellent plan, isn't it? And I hit B, and it seemed to blow the candle out. Well, that's good. I wouldn't want you to think that I wasn't showing you all the features of this game. So, I'm glad I was at least able to show off your ability to roleplay as a blowhard in this game, if absolutely nothing else. Right, there were a couple of rooms off here to the right that we didn't spy. See what I can find. Oh, judging by that prompt, I think I know what happened, actually. It seems like the candles die over time, and at the very end you can still blow them out, even though they aren't really producing any more light. So I think the candle had just gotten near the end of its lifespan. I thought it was out, in reality it wasn't, and I was still able to give it a hold, huff and a puff. Alright, it seems like it's got to be in that last little bottom bit there. I'm actually going to go the slightly longer way around by going sort of up and around rather than straight down, for no other reason than the fact that I want to get slightly further away from that crying. I keep hearing strange footsteps. I wonder if that's just like a random thing that's programmed in, like it's got a couple of different effects that when I'm walking or running it will just randomly play them in order to freak me out and confuse me. Which would be a very clever and subtle little spook in order to integrate in a game. It's certainly a lot more subtle and spooky than that is. Yeah, I could see that being quite a good idea if in reality that is what's going on. It's not just me being stupid. But, yeah, I keep randomly hearing these strange noises that sound like different types of footsteps, like they're heavier, or they're closer together, or they're further apart, or in one way or another they are different. And, it befuddles me, so it does. I'll quickly check this room off to the side here. Well, that's interesting. You started moving, but I didn't get a ding noise. Turns out I'm not just a dingus, I'm also dingless. There we are. That's going to work well in the auto-generated subtitles, isn't it? Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Right then, never mind him and his soundless reckless nature. Maybe I've just finally gone deaf after all the screaming that woman does in my ear. Goodness only knows. We are always watching. Well, that would be nice. But judging off certain graphs that YouTube sends me over hither and thither, I get the distinct impression the answer to that question is actually untrue. But never mind. What do we have in here? We have found the artifact, and it spins. It's on a little rotisserie, like a little cake in a fancy shop. How exciting. Right then. Now we need to work our way back to that little spot over there that I can't point to, but never mind. Maybe I can do something in editing. I'll put some sort of little thing there, but like a little asterisk there or something, or a big arrow. I'm sure I can work something out. It wouldn't exactly be a glowing endorsement of my abilities as a person in this. I was going to say profession. It certainly is not that. In this little pastime, if I couldn't even highlight a bit on a map. Alright, if we go all the way across here, we can then sort of swing down and then back up a little bit in order to escape. And then we'll only have 2 more nights to do. We might actually, if the next 2 don't go horrifically, don't take a horrifically long period of time to complete, we might actually get through all of it in this, which would be nice. Then we can do the sequel next time, which would be quite sort of nice and pleasant, I think. Be a nice way to do it. He says, assuming that the second game can be completed in one video, which he has no evidence of that. Goodness, it might have 700 nights in it rather than 7. I haven't got a ball, please. There's the room we don't go into, and we don't talk about what we saw inside. We just go in here. We're careful of you, and then we sort of climb up the ladder sideways, because naturally. Oh dear, I feel like I should have got a bit better on the old percentages that time, because I explored the vast majority of the map. Oh dear. Come on, reduce my life to a number. Oh, I found all the candles. I found the vast majority of the other bits and pieces. Alrighty then, it is time to see the truth. Indeed. That's 6 words. I imagine you'd save the truth for night 7, but you know. Maybe night 7 is the night you go to the therapist in order to deal with the horror of understanding what the truth was actually about. One doesn't know. Oh goodness, it's got even worse. So instead of just the walls being made to look like burned flesh, now the floor and the ceiling do also. That is fun on the old Christmas bun. And here is this map again. Is this a real popular map or something? Or are there less map layouts than I think are possible? It seems like maybe it's not randomly generating a map. It must have like a set number of like do you mind? Sort of pre-built maps, as it were. And it sort of just picks one at random, which level are you going to get. But I've had the most dreadful luck this time. I'll catch them one day. One day I'll catch them moving. Not today, but maybe one day. At least we can. At least we've started off in the. At least we started off in this little sort of bottom right bit of the map, which allows us to explore it a little bit, which we haven't been able to do previously. But that note seems to have been alluding to the escape, like they finally found the ladder that led them out of here. Right, I apologise for that. Another minor interruption. Idiot. One of these days I'm actually going to record again and I'm not going to get interrupted by anybody or anything. That day isn't today, however. Alright then. Let's see what we've got down here. Another gold bar. Excellent. I'm going to have enough gold in order to build a whole golden pyramid by the end of this, but never mind. Maybe that's where I'm going to retire. Maybe I don't want the gold to sell it and make money. I just want to build myself a massive golden house. Just to live in. You know what I'm reminded of every time I see their very, very cross face? I'm reminded of like a bouncer, you know, standing on the door to a nightclub, who's like really tall, looking down at you, saying like, if you're not on the list, you're not. Idiot. And that's the sort of reaction most people get when they hear that line. Again, with these interruptions, I am so very sorry. One day, I'm going to have a lovely place all to myself, and it's going to be so freaking quiet that I'll be able to whisper through the video, and it'll be lovely. But that day is not today. Right then, should we move on with life? Oh look, here's this again. Dear, 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 where even are we? I don't know, we're down here, wherever here is. This is the place that we are at. Alright then, let's go this way. Looks like there's a little spot I can explore here. It's all the good that it does me, there's nothing here though. Let's have a candle, it's a bit dark and spooky in here. Oh wait, now this lets me see the texture on the walls again, which is a bit more dark and spooky. Now that I'll think about it. Alright. Oh goodness, there's loads of notes here. So why is there a filing cabinet in a cardboard box? Those things seem a bit too advanced for this. Just in terms of like the technology that seems to be in play down here. Oh hooray! This is wonderful. I'm also in a dead end, which is going to make it rather difficult for me to get away from her, particularly if I walk into an even shorter dead end and then I run out of stamina. Right, give me a minute. We'll either jump cut to the death animation, or we'll jump cut to me escaping. One or the other. Right then. I think we are about safe. This man seems to have chastened me. Chastened me? There's an interesting word that I have invented. Chasten. It's like chased, only said wrong. My verbal stumblings really get under my skin sometimes. Yeah, we seem to have escaped the screaming woman with her knives, and the and that skeleton seems to chase me the entire way, which is commitment to the job. If nothing else, he certainly has more commitment than his mistress of the underground mansion. Oh, I thought it was you that was chasing me. No, it would seem it was not. Alright then, can we get us back to roughly where we was before? Alright, we were over here. Now, the last two times that we played this map, within the last half hour of our lives, or however long it is we've been going, both times we encountered the exit right around here. It was not far from here at all. So I'm wondering whether we'll have the same luck the third time around. Though somehow I doubt it. I feel like it was very unlikely that we'd get the same map 3 times in the same session, and it was even more unlikely that we'd get. Everyone's dying. Spooky noises everywhere. I don't like the spooky noises. They're fighting me. It seems even less likely that we'd end up with the. Don't even know where I'm going. I'm going over here. This door won't open. Oh, Kitty aunt! Oh, the joys. I'm sorry. What? You want to roll that one past me again, dear? I didn't quite catch that. Are you saying that this is permadeath? Because I'm not a massive fan of permadeath, as I have previously explained. Well then, I think that's enough of that. Let's go back to the menu screen. Right. Right. Well. I have made an executive decision, a decision you're probably already aware of because you're aware of the fact that this has been 1 video and not 2, but we'll just have all of the first game in 1 video, and then we'll do it the second game. We'll do that tomorrow. Or at least I'll do that tomorrow. Goodness knows when it will appear for you. But that's a shame. That's a shame. I've ranted and raved about permadeath before, and I'm not going to rant and rave about it here, because there's nothing else that I can say that I haven't already said previously. But that's a bit of a shame, because I was really enjoying that. I would have really have liked to get to the end of that. So that's a real shame that it does that to you, because that kind of spoils it. Because under any other circumstances, and by any other circumstances I mean me being able to restart at the beginning of night 5 or night 6 or whatever that was that we were doing, I would have continued that and had another go at it. But now, because it's done that, I feel like it would require such an additional investment of time in order to get back to that point to actually see the end of the game, which I feel like would probably put off a lot of players from actually seeing the end of it, which is a shame because it's a fun game and it's certainly very enjoyable and well put together. So I feel like players deserve to see the end of the game, and the end of the game deserves to be seen by the players, to put it a bit more correctly. So that's a bit of a shame, but never mind. The amount of the game that I did get to see, I very much enjoyed. I apologise that in the middle of it there was that weird bit where I suddenly started talking as if it was the beginning of a new video, and of course it wasn't, but never mind. I hope you enjoyed that as well. I rather did, and I look forward to seeing how they improve upon it for the sequel. Hopefully they have gotten rid of the permadeath, but they probably haven't. It seems I was just amazingly lucky previously that I didn't die any sooner, but we just had the unfortunateness of being chased right in front of a door, but never mind. Yes, I very much enjoyed that. I hope you did as well. Thank you very much for joining me this evening, ladies and gentlemen. Look after each other, and good night.